Boys, I really don't think I can do this. Every WrestleMania main event worst to best. I mean, everyone's got their opinion on that. People can't even decide what the worst main event is. They're already going to tear me to pieces in the comment section because of what my name is.
Come on, yes, you can.
No, I really don't think this is a good idea. I can't do it. Oh, he hit me. Oh. I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture, and this is every WrestleMania main event ranked from worst to best. Let's do this. Number 33, Yokozuna versus Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 9. Consulting my big book of wrestling, there we have it. The main event is the last match on the show, which means WrestleMania 9's main event was not Bret Hart versus Yokozuna, which was actually rather good, but the 22-second absolute shit show that came afterwards as Hogan hijacked Bret and Yoko's moment because Hulkamania. It stinks of desperation and gets more charmless by the year. It's just the worst. Number 32, Psycho Sid versus The Undertaker, WrestleMania 13. There's a rumour that Psycho Sid shit his pants during this match, and whilst that's probably not true, his rather appropriate dirty protest is the only thing that makes this dull stain on WrestleMania 13 worthy of a watch. Number 31, Bam Bam Bigelow versus Lawrence Taylor, WrestleMania 11. The main event to one of the company's saddest ever show of shows, or Celebomania as I like to call it, wasn't actually that bad. Bigelow carried Taylor to a passable closer, but why did this go on after Shawn Michaels and Diesel? Number 30, Hulk Hogan versus King Kong Bundy, WrestleMania 2. There were many things wrong with WrestleMania 2, don't even get me started on the multi-arena concept, but Hulk Hogan versus a human thumb in the main event was a cumbersome end to an exhausting night masquerading as entertainment. Featuring a brutal back scratch and Bundy barely being able to climb through the bloody ropes, it's 10 minutes of your life you will never get back. Number 29, Triple H versus Randy Orton, WrestleMania 25. Speaking of life-draining main events, now don't get me wrong, I was really into the build to this match, but oh my god, the stipulation cut the balls off it more than Stephanie McMahon does to every male wrestler on Monday Night Raw. If Triple H got DQ'd, he'd lose the title, despite Orton terrorising his family, and sexually assaulting his unconscious wife. And then Triple H won anyway, using a sledgehammer. LOL. Number 28, Sergeant Slaughter versus Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 7. Who could have guessed that American hero Hulk Hogan would beat pro-Iraq turncoat Sergeant Slaughter in the main event of WrestleMania? Oh, and they definitely had to change venues because of safety concerns and not because no one cared. Number 27, The Undertaker versus Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 33. This match is the reason why people aren't sure whether they want Undertaker back at Mania this year. Yes, they both managed to hit crowd-popping moves eventually, and Taker's send-off was incredibly emotional, but in the end it was a long, slow contest with only one logical conclusion. Number 26, Triple H versus Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 32. They really did try everything to get Roman cheered here. The preceding months leading into Mania, Steph's promo to those creepy dudes who still keep me awake at night, and Roman spearing the she-devil herself. And yet, the boos and the chants for NXT and Nakamura tell you all you need to know about how the crowning of their golden boy really went down. Number 25, The Miz versus John Cena, WrestleMania 27. This match had loads of potential, but due to Miz's concussion and then basically sacrificing this main event for the year after's WrestleMania, it completely fell flat. A weak double count-out finish, The Rock restarting the match and then immediately hitting Cena with a rock bottom to hand Miz the title, and then hitting Miz with a people's elbow to send everyone home happy. It only got one guy over, The Rock. And he doesn't really need it, does he? Number 24, Triple H versus Chris Jericho, WrestleMania 18. Hello again, Trips. You really have had some shit WrestleMania main events, haven't you? Yes, of course, The Rock and Austin had exhausted the crowd before this, but don't forget, the build focused more on Hunter and Steph than, you know, the guy who pinned Rock and Austin on the same night. The match was fine, but let's be honest, Steph getting a pedigree got more of a reaction than the finish. Oh, and Drowning Pool. Number 23, Hulk Hogan vs Sid Justice, WrestleMania 8. Dave Meltzer gave this match -2 stars. For good reason. The match between Sid and Hogan is bad enough, but then factor in Papa Shango's missed run-in, which meant that Sid had to kick out of the all-conquering leg drop and then the subsequent DQ finish, and you've got yourself one of the worst WrestleMania main events ever. The only thing that saves it is the surprise return of Ultimate Warrior, which blows the bloody roof off the place. Now that is how you end WrestleMania. Number 22. Hulk Hogan and Mr. T versus Rowdy Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff, WrestleMania 1. On the one hand, you have to think about the astronomical significance of the first WrestleMania main event, but then on the other, judging by match quality, meh. I mean, the spectacle is what makes this. All the guys involved in the ring, you've got Bob Orton and Jimmy Snuka, Muhammad Ali and Pat Patterson, Liberace as timekeeper. The Madison Square Garden crowd were whipped into an absolute frenzy for this. It's where it all began. Number 21. The Rock vs John Cena, WrestleMania 29. Twice in a lifetime. And they did all the good stuff in the first one. Number 20. Yokozuna vs Bret Hart, WrestleMania 10. I'd much rather have their WrestleMania 9 contest, but as that wasn't the main event due to the bullshit that I mentioned earlier, this will have to do. A decent little match considering they both wrestled earlier, with Yoko defending his title against Luger and Bret putting on a barnstormer against his brother Owen, but the conclusion is what mattered most here. Bret was champion. Eventually. Number 19. Ted DiBiase vs Randy Savage, WrestleMania 4. The finale of a tournament for the vacant world title. It's an enjoyable bout and a momentous moment as Randy Savage wins his first WWE title. Hogan and Andre ringside add story and star power, but you can kind of tell the two guys in the ring have wrestled several times that night. Oh, and Hogan steals the limelight once again. The minuscule seeds of insecurity shown in the title celebrations after, though, are a real highlight. Number 18. Triple H vs Batista, WrestleMania 21. Another main event where you probably remember the finish, but not all the stuff that went before it. And that's probably because not a lot of stuff did here. It was a dull power battle until the Beast was finally unleashed to give us the ending we all wanted. Admirable, but not quite the all-action explosion we all expected. Number 17. John Cena vs The Rock, WrestleMania 28. This once-in-a-lifetime match was WWE's biggest box office main event ever. After a year-long build, and despite The Rock's wrestling hiatus, him and Cena put on a great little match. The Miami crowd went crazy throughout, but the biggest roar was saved for the finish when he hit the rock bottom on Cena to claim the 1, 2, 3. And then they had to do it the year after, didn't they? Number 16. Hulk Hogan vs Andre the Giant, WrestleMania 3. Right, to be honest, I've put this here because I've got no idea how to rate it. Some think this legendary match deserves a spot in the top 10 because of its historic nature, and others think it's one of the worst because of the match quality. The setting, the spectacle, and that slam means it's here. Number 15. Triple H vs The Rock vs The Big Show vs Mick Foley, WrestleMania 16. A disappointing top liner on a disappointing night. The McMahon in every corner match may have escaped criticism had Triple H not retained his title in a shocking for the time heel win. They were bang right to do it, mind. Triple H, The Rock, Big Show, and Mick Foley getting to main event Mania. There are some great little spots in it too, even if it does bang on a little, but as always, it comes back to McMahon family navel-gazing. Number 14. John Cena vs Triple H, WrestleMania 22. Did you know that CM Punk was one of the gangsters for John Cena's entrance here? The more you know, eh? The Chicago crowd hated John Cena here and were desperate for heel Triple H, doing his best Conan the Barbarian impression, to prevail, which turned this average match into quite the contest, actually. The result and crowd reactions just elevated Big Match John even more. Let's go Cena. Cena sucks. Number 13. John Cena vs Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 23. I really liked this match, and unlike the previous year where it was obvious who was leaving with the belt, due to the groundswell of support for HBK and possibly one more run with the belt, there was some genuine tension as to who was going to win. The contest between the two men is great, the pile driver onto the stairs is mwah, and it's up there with some of Shawn Michaels' best Mania performances for me. Number 12, Shawn Michaels vs Stone Cold Steve Austin, WrestleMania 14. An epic main event that over-delivered based on the broken bodies of its combatants. This might be the coolest WrestleMania main event ever. Two legends who were as energetic and athletic as they were charismatic, brawling over the title, and Mike f***ing Tyson in charge. God, I miss the Attitude Era. Number 11, Randy Savage vs Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 5. The culmination to a sublime one-year storyline between the two, Hogan and Savage's implosion saw both men hitting career peaks simultaneously. They both looked huge, their pace was exhausting. It is a brilliant blow-off to a legendary feud. Number 10, Brock Lesnar vs Roman Reigns vs Seth Rollins, WrestleMania 31. Two killer little matches wrapped up in a little postmodern package. Brock Lesnar's expertly booked decimation of Roman Reigns made for a blinding finale, be honest, and we all lost our shit when Seth Rollins sprinted down to complete the heist of the century. Number 9, The Rock vs Stone Cold Steve Austin, WrestleMania 15. A battle that perfectly encapsulated the chaos and carnage of the Attitude Era. Austin and Rock's first WrestleMania main event was fun as balls thanks to the no DQ stip. Stone Cold's cathartic celebration atop Vince's devastated frame was a babyface show closer that I think Vince would probably sacrifice his own son to get Roman Reigns these days. Number 8, Bret Hart vs Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 12. Some people hate on this match, but it's my list, so Bret considers it his literal finest hour. It's pure wrestling at its absolute best. There's action, psychology, brilliant spots, and it's the most unique main event at WrestleMania ever. It's a classic, no question. Number 7, Kurt Angle vs Brock Lesnar, WrestleMania 19. I'm not sure you can actually enjoy watching this match. You spend the majority of it fearing for Angle's life, who needs neck surgery when you've got WrestleMania, and the last part hoping Brock Lesnar doesn't die hitting the shooting star press. But if you like suplexes, you've come to the right place. It's an absorbing, athletic, entertaining main event that is well worth another watch. Trust me. Number 6, Edge vs The Undertaker, WrestleMania 24. A lot of people seem to be sleeping on this one. Edge and Taker's understated epic is one of the most satisfying headliners of WrestleMania ever. Edge put on a career-defining performance, playing the wily sneak, hitting several counters, whilst Undertaker out-wrestled his way to World Championship gold in a hell of a match. Number 5, Hulk Hogan vs The Ultimate Warrior, WrestleMania 6. The top 10 needed an old-school classic, and this is it. A rapturous Skydome were treated to a champion versus champion, face versus face battle for the ages. The build, the story, the booking of the match itself is great, hiding the men's flaws and emphasizing their strengths tenfold. This is WrestleMania. Number 4, Triple H versus Shawn Michaels versus Chris Benoit, WrestleMania 20. Look, take all that other stuff away, this is an objectively outstanding main event. The chemistry between the three men just works so well, whether they are exchanging finishes, showcasing technical ability, or just beating the crap out of each other. The tension and drama builds phenomenally to that feel-good closer moment that makes this one of the best Mania mains ever. Number 3, Randy Orton versus Batista versus Daniel Bryan, WrestleMania 30. Sod the other two, sorry boys. This is all about Daniel Bryan. Dwarfed by his opponents, their insecure gaffer rigging the game, pun intended, and months of very real and confrontational you. That's why booking that was meant to stop this from ever actually happening. The match had everything, and all it really needed was the final few seconds. Batista tapping out to hand Orton's title to the Yes Man in a dreamlike sequence we haven't seen until just recently when Daniel Bryan was cleared to wrestle again. Yes. Number 2, The Rock versus... No. Number 2, The Undertaker... Number 2, The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, WrestleMania 17. To be honest, picking between 1 and 2 here is pretty much impossible. Came down to a coin toss. The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin then, the 2 biggest stars in wrestling history, put on a world-class one-on-one contest that was so intrinsically era-defining, it basically closed the book on wrestling's second boom period. I could watch The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin fight forever, as the saying goes. And in this knackering and bloody bout, it looks like they were fighting as though it was their last ever match. It's one of those matches you have to go back and watch every 6 months just to remind yourself how bloody brilliant it was. The heel turn Austin himself regrets to this day does still feel mental, but him maniacally mashing Rock into the mat with a steel chair is the exact way to celebrate his ill-gotten gain, and a rare bona fide season finale for an entire era. Number 1, The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 26. Is this the perfect WrestleMania main event? If not, it's pretty bloody close. A glorious tribute to the careers of both The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. These 2 legends even outdo their phenomenal performance from the previous year's WrestleMania. There are some unforgettable moments in here. The tombstone on the outside, the moonsault through the table, and the jumping tombstone pile driver to bring this epic to a close. The story going into the match was amazing, the entire bout was enthralling, and 2 of the greatest ever left it all in the ring. There are few perfect goodbyes in professional wrestling. Trust HBK to find such a beautiful way to have his own show stopped. And that is my list. Let me know what you thought of it in the comment section below. I'm sure you've already done that. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Adam Wilborn. Enjoy WrestleMania, and I'll see you soon. Well, that was great, I agree. You can subscribe down here, check out some more of our videos over here, or check out some of our other channels right here.